25 regular scheduled Board of County Commissioners meeting to order. I've asked Commissioner Perkins to lead us in the prayer, and then Commissioner Mobley is going to lead us in the pledge. So if y'all would, please stand.
Let us pray. Our Father God in heaven, we come once again, oh God, to give you thanks and give you praise. We thank you, God, for you watched us and kept us, oh God, from our last night rest to our early rise this morning. We thank you, God, for all the things we've gone through, dear God, that you blessed us and brought us through safely. We thank you, God, for moving our hurt, our pain, giving us strength, dear God. And we ask you to look upon us, dear God, in this meeting, dear God. Look on everyone that's here, dear God. Bring upon the one mind, dear God. Help us, dear God, to come together, dear God, for the well-being of this community and for this county, dear God. We pray on the Father God, look upon our first responders, look upon all of our departments, dear God. Look upon everyone, dear God, that's here, near, and far. And we give your name the praise. In Christ we pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. Our first item on the agenda is the May 6, 2025 regular scheduled board meeting minutes. Any commissioners have any questions, comments, or concerns in regards to those minutes?
So moved.
Have a motion to approve those minutes by Commissioner Perkins. Have a second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion of those minutes passes. The next item on the agenda is public concerns and comments, but before we get into that, there's something that I want to address. There's been a lot of chatter this week that I've heard. I've had people from the public calling me in regards to this board, particularly this board, making changes to the employee policy in regards to salaried or contracted employees receiving overtime, more specifically during natural disasters. So there's been a lot of chatter. I've heard it. So I asked our county attorney, and the reason I'm doing this now is because in case there's folks from the public that are going to come up and talk about that, I want you to hear what our county attorney has researched and found prior to you speaking, because it may affect what you say, or it may answer some questions that you may have. So, Mr. Morrison, are you prepared to speak in regards to the overtime for salaried and contracted employees?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to your instruction, I sat down and tried to figure out...
More talking to the mic, please, sir.
Pursuant to your... Can you guys... Is that on?
Hello. Can y'all hear us okay?
Is that better? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At your instruction, I sat down and tried to figure out the best mechanism, or whether or not, starting over, the legalities of paying exempt or contract employees overtime. So for those who don't know the nomenclature, the exempt employees would be people who are employees of the county who work on salary, meaning they're not usually entitled to overtime. And contract employees would be the employees who work for the county under contract. There are 3 of those. It's myself, the county administrator, and at the time, Mr. Norris as the Economic Development Director. So, Mr. Chairman, I started by going through the statutes. There was nothing in applicable Florida law that authorized or prohibited the paying of overtime compensation to exempt or contract employees. I then turned to the policy manual, and the first policy that was brought to my attention regarding this matter was in section 24, which authorized the county administrator to authorize overtime for exempt or contract employees on a case-by-case basis. The problem then came in that amendment to our procedures wasn't enacted until November of 23. I then continued to look, Mr. Chairman, but at that point in time, I went ahead and called you just to let the county, some of the public in behind the scenes as to how the sausage is made, and let you know that we may be having an issue because the policy that I had found was enacted after Adelia, and so there may be some very hard conversations which have to be had with county employees, because the remedy would be that they have to give the money back if they were wrongfully paid. And to be clear, they had been paid. And so I continued to look, and with the help of our assistant county administrator, there is under our policies 15.03 overtime or comp time, and under 15.03C, it specifically says that exempt or non-exempt employees are allowed overtime, or I'm sorry, that's B, so 15.03B, which is exempt employees who work hours in excess of their regular work week during a local state of emergency are authorized to receive overtime. So as my kids would put it, the TLDR of this is, yes, it's legal that they were paid overtime for time spent during Hurricane Idalia. And then there's no question, because there's now two policies which would apply to the two natural disasters after that. So that's the answer to your question.
What were the dates on those policies?
The policy, the 15.03 was enacted in 2018. So we're well within the time for that to have been applicable. And again, the one that sent the confusion / shockwaves earlier was enacted in 2023. So, but to be clear, under 15.03B, it was perfectly legal for the exempt county employees to receive overtime during their work directly attributable to Hurricane Idalia, as it was done under a local state of emergency.
That was in 2018.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And one thing, Mr. Chairman, and you don't know that I was going to say this, I did tell you the other one, but just so the members of the public are aware, as a compliment to you, again, for a little while there, it looked like we were about to have some very tough conversations with some county employees, and the chairman just kind of told me, like, it is what it is, let's just get it right, and we'll have the hard conversations rather than trying to figure out some kind of way to fix it. So I was just impressed by that, Mr. Chairman. It was get it right.
Well, I did not know you were going to
say
say that, but thank you. I didn't ask you to say that, didn't expect you to say that, but at the end of the day, you're right. If we messed up or we made a bad decision or we made a wrong decision, transparency is the best policy, and I told him that if we did it wrong, tell me we did it wrong, and let's get it right, and let's tell the public that we did it wrong, and let's get it right. So luckily, in this situation, we did not. Prayerfully, but had we, I would have been the first one sitting here to tell y'all, hey, in fact, we messed up, and this is what we're going to do to fix it. So luckily, I don't have to do that today. I'm not saying that I won't have to do that in the future, but I don't have to do it today. I wanted to talk about that because I've seen emails, I've been shared Facebook posts, and there's been a lot of chatter about that, so I directed him to do that research. Thank you, Mr. Morrison, for digging into that, and maybe eliminating some of the rumors that were flying around that this board had enacted this frivolous policy to, I say frivolous, enacted this policy to do frivolous spending. So we'll move along now. I wanted to talk about that before we went into public concerns and comments in case some of that chatter made it to the podium. At least they'd hear what he had to say prior to what you have to say. So public concerns and comments. I have one comment card here. You want to speak to Mr. Broders? Yes, sir. Mr. Broders, go ahead. Mr. Jefferson, you'll be up next. I think I have one for you. You okay?
No, I was going to wait until I came up, 19.
I'm sorry. You did put 19. My bad. Mr. Broders.
Yes, Keith Broders, residence at Lake City, the assisted living facility called Grand Cypress. The thing that I wanted to mention to everyone tonight is the fact that according to the scriptures and according to common sense, basically there's two kinds of law, natural law and unnatural law. Natural law is ordained of God, and there are two books that I believe that everyone in this room should be familiar with other than the scriptures. And that is, first off, it's called The Law by Frederick Bastiat, a Frenchman who lived from around 1800 to about 1850. He was an economist and philosopher and just a brilliant man. And he basically wrote a book called The Law. It's something that you can find online. Look up Frederick Bastiat, The Law. You can listen to an audio book. It'll take just a little over an hour, and you will be enlightened because he gives us a recipe for a sound government. It's his blueprint for a just society. The other book that I want to recommend to all of you is a book called The 5,000-Year Leap by Cleon Skousen, where he lists 28 principles that the Founding Fathers incorporated when they wrote the Constitution. These 28 principles are found in his book. His work is on the website called National Center for Constitutional Studies. And there's some really excellent material there to help you to become well educated on the formula and the principles of liberty. Basically, we are told in the scriptures again that man will be deceived because of his lack of knowledge. And one of the things that's very important is that our elected officials do their job, but we need to do our job. And our job is to hold them accountable to make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Their number one job is not to do things for us, but it's to protect our rights so that we can do things for ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Broders. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? See, I was wondering why you walked to the front.
Moses Lepper, 14581 102nd Path, Live Oak. On that overtime for exempt salaried employees, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I notified y'all of Norris and Scott receiving over $10,000 apiece when the deal come through on overtime. Y'all were good with it. I was concerned with that then. Y'all ain't changed the policy, so y'all ain't too concerned about it, period. So you say one thing, do another, I'm going to believe what I see. Proclamations and presentations are still scheduled after public concerns and comments. Not only do you cause those who are proclaiming and presenting to wait through public comments and concerns by separating public comments and the consent agenda items, many believe that the commissioners have little interest in what the citizens have to say. On tonight's consent agenda, there are 15 potential issues that a citizen may have a concern about on the consent agenda. Being restricted to 3 minutes allows those citizens only 12 seconds per issue. Once again, this would lead one to believe that the commissioners have little interest in what the citizens have to say. Please prove me wrong. I'm going over consent items 11, 12, 13, and 17. On 11, Project Gorilla, like many other secretive backdoor deals, have given rise to the question that the NDAs and the secretive deals potentially are not in the best interest of the existing landowners. 12, just like I asked with the previous fire truck purchase, is the ladder truck being purchased from the ex-chief's new employer? If so, many of us are concerned about whether or not we are getting the best value for our money. 13, $18,000 over and above change order. How did Rapid Response Disaster Services, which I assume that's their business, how did they miss the Florida Forest Services requirement of an air curtain and the scraping of the site? It seemed like those over and aboves on things that those specialists should know are real commonplace here. Less than they were in past times, but they're still way too often for my comfort. And then the on 17, the $18,000 for the sheriff to pay the call takers. Very recently, the Sheriff St. John promoted and gave significant salary increases to several of his top paid staff. No one knows where the $16 million that he has at his disposal is going and what it is being spent on. In the 5 years I've been attending budget workshops, I got 3 lines here. During the 5 years I've been attending budget workshops, I've seen the sheriff's budget increase exponentially without having to account for where it goes. Like other departments in Suwannee County, once it's on the budget, if it's purchased or not, many times it's not removed and continues to add to the taxpayer's burden. I and many others say let the sheriff come up with the $18,000 out of the excess in the $16 million.
Anybody else from public wishing to speak? Seeing none, I will close public comment. Mr. Klepper, I don't normally engage you, but you've called me, but you called me on a bad day. Number one, if we didn't care what you had to say, why would we put proclamations and presentations in front of you? Wouldn't you want more people to sit here and listen to what you have to say every night? If we put proclamations first, there's a chance that those folks from the public that do have a presentation or a proclamation may get up and exit before you speak. So I thought I was doing you a courteous. Ill attempt on my part, par for the course. You stated we got however many agenda items, and you did the math, not me, so if this is incorrect, this is your math. That gives you 12 seconds. I guess you did 3 minutes divided by the number of consent. If I got to sit up here and we got to go through every single consent agenda item, what are we doing here, guys? Why are we elected? Why are we going to undermine the electorate of the county if we're going to sit here and talk about every single one of these agenda items? Clearly, there's no public trust of us to sit here and have to talk about every single business item on this agenda that we have a vested interest in. Why? Because one, we live here, our families live here, our reputation's on the line. So if we have to sit here and talk about every single nickel, then clearly the public doesn't trust us at all. And we should just open the floor and let everybody talk about everything, and we'll be here for hours and never get anything done. So while I appreciate your comments and your opinions, that is what they are. But thank you for that. I respectfully disagree tonight. We never do anything right in your eyes. Criticism, criticism, criticism is all we get from that podium from you. I expect it every single time you walk up here. But thanks for coming anyway. You do keep me on my toes. Next item on the agenda, proclamations and presentations. Adoption of resolution recognizing and celebrating May 20th as Emancipation Day. As I always do, I'm going to read the proclamation. That's item number 2. I'm going to read that for the public. A proclamation, it reads, a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Suwannee County recognizing and celebrating of May 20th as Emancipation Day. Whereas on January 1st, 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation declaring that all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state shall be thenceforward, and forever free. And whereas President Abraham Lincoln declared that in giving freedom to the slave, we assured freedom to the free, honorable alike in what we give and what we preserve. We shall nobly save or meanly lose the last best hope of earth. And whereas President Lincoln correctly believed slavery to be in violation of the principles of the Declaration of Independence and that its abolition represented a new birth of freedom for the United States. And whereas on May 20th, 1865, General Edward McCook from the steps of the Knott House in Tallahassee read the Emancipation Proclamation and declared all enslaved persons in the state to be free, thus ending slavery in the state. And whereas the emancipation of slaves in Florida occurred 11 days after the end of the Civil War and 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. And whereas May 20th is now recognized and celebrated in Florida as Emancipation Day. And whereas Suwannee County celebrates and recognizes the importance of Emancipation Day to Suwannee County citizens of all races. Now therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners of Suwannee County, Florida, hereby proclaim May 20th as Emancipation Day. The Board encourages all citizens to commemorate, celebrate, and educate themselves and others about the meaning of Emancipation Day and to appreciate the freedoms to all this solemn day represents. Passed and duly adopted in regular session with a quorum present and voting by the Board of County Commissioners this blank day of 2025. So that's the proclamation, gentlemen. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on that proclamation? Seeing none, any questions from the board? Or do I have a motion to approve
So moved.
I had a motion to approve by Commissioner Perkins. Have a second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, guys. The next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Is the consent agenda. We have items 3 through 17. Item number 10 is being pulled for clarification purposes. So we got 3 through 9, and then 11 through 17. Any questions, comments, concerns from the commissioners in regards to those items? Or do I have a motion to approve those consent agenda items? Have a motion to approve items, I'll say it again, 3 through 9 and 11 through 17 by Commissioner Perkins.
Second.
Second by Commissioner White. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0 on those agenda items. Item number 10, approval of Air Medical Services and support agreement with Air Methods LLC to establish a flight program. Chief Miller, you're here. You want to just kind of give a quick overview where you're at, where you're going with this?
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to be partnering with Air Methods, the flight helicopters, and doing a joint partnership with them where we put our paramedics on their helicopter with their nurses, their pilots, their thing. And they're going to help. They're going to do a lot of training for our paramedics. All Suwannee County paramedics then, that ones even that aren't on the helicopter, are going to start getting this extra training to make the whole service level just better all the way around and make it more seamless type of process from scene all the way to the hospital. It's our people treating our citizens from here to the hospital bed, no matter where that is. So that's kind of what's going on with that. You read the contracts. It has money involved in that on another revenue stream. But the point of clarification I just want to make is when you adopt it is also to allowing me to move a little bit of money out of my contingency line to the 3 positions that we need to start this program. So then come October 1st, it becomes a self-running, self-sustaining program. So that's what I just wanted to clarify.
So what he's clarifying, guys, is the budgetary impact is from today or upon hiring these 3 positions through September 30th of the fiscal year. And he's asked to move those funds needed out of his contingency to do so. And then at that point, the Air Methods contract will self-sustain those 3 positions, as well as, I believe, a couple more. Or am I wrong?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna use that for a lot more positions in the future.
Is there any questions by you guys for Chief Miller on this Air
I have
Methods?
Zach here also from Air Methods. If you have any questions from them, we can talk. So.
Welcome, Zach. Anything you want to add?
Come on up.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Name and address real quick, though.
Zachary Nicholson, 5647 65th Path, Live Oak, Florida. So I too, proud citizen of Suwannee County. Also serve as the Regional Business Director for Air Methods for the Southeast region. So now, I just want to say that this is a great opportunity, for the county Air Methods and the citizens here. We are excited to be able to expand this partnership for Suwannee County. It brings local county medics and local Air Methods nurses together to be able to bring that excellence of care and to be able to provide that for the citizens of Suwannee County. It's like bringing a flying ICU right to the bedside or right to the scene on the side of the road. So we've had a great partnership, excited to expand it, and open for any questions if need be. So.
Y'all have any questions for Mr. Zach? Commissioner Perkins.
To Chief Miller. I got some calls and asked me, said that how this started, that you went to them asking for this, and that you were talking to me and said that they came to you actually asking for us to partner with them.
It was kind of a mutual thing. We were at a conference, and I ran into them, and I was like, "Hey, when are we going to do something with that helicopter of yours? It's right next to the station. We should be able to do something." And they were like, well, "Yeah, we can do it." So there's about 5 other programs in the state of Florida that have already partnered with Air Methods doing things like this. So it just kind of developed, and we went down the path of, well, what would it look like? What would it cost? That kind of thing. So that's pretty much where we got here.
Can you go? I'm sorry, Commissioner Perkins. Go ahead.
That's one of the questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. But they were saying that you came aggressive toward those folks, asking them to do this. But what I'm saying is I wanted to be clarified now, so those that may be in here may hear it, or those maybe hear it on YouTube. So that you aggressively asked them to do this, and that you also told me that if they didn't get Suwannee County name on their helicopter, that you was going to cut ties with them. mean, this is what I'm saying. You know, people say a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And I do like get clarification. The chairman said about having things to be transparent.
Yep, no, for transparency, there was no threats, no kickbacks, no deals made. It was just a conversation that started at a conference. An opportunity presented itself. I look at it as you guys pay me to figure out ways to grow this fire department and not burden the citizens with increasing their taxes. So I'm looking for other revenue streams to do that. So it just worked out, and I think it's going to be a great thing.
And they were speaking a lot of negativity about it happening, but saying it's going to happen, that's going to happen there in the future. Have you visited any of these organizations that had this already implemented in their counties and
Yeah.
working? How's it working with them?
Yep.
I mean, you can also chime in as well.
Yeah, so I work with St. Lucie County. A friend of mine works down there, and they do it in their county. They don't have any problems with it. Walton County does it. We had a long conversation with their program director, but when we started this, a few months ago, and they told us what to look out for, what to, hiccups, things like that. So it's from everywhere we've researched, everything we've talked to with air methods and everything, there's really no issues. So, and the best part about it is, I just want to be clear, there is no county tax dollars going towards it. This is going to be an all partnership type of fund from the transports that helicopter generates.
And we're not buying a helicopter.
And we're not buying a helicopter. No, this isn't. It is an Air Methods helicopter. It'll say Suwannee County on the side of it, but that's about it. So,
Glad you put that out there.
yes, sir.
Y'all got any more questions? Zach, you want to say something real quick?
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Commissioners. Now, I just want to clarify, there's no forcing of anybody's hand here. We are truly excited about this partnership to be able to bring this excellence of care to Suwannee County. So, and we have done this partnership in multiple other counties in the state of Florida and actually across the country. And it brings, when you talk about partnerships, true partnerships and the excellence of paramedics and nurses together, to be able to come together and provide that excellence of care. And as I said before, a flying ICU and every second counts. So, again, excited about this opportunity and looking forward to the next step. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zach. Y'all good?
Yes.
Any other questions
Thank
for
you,
the
Chief.
chief, or do I have a motion to approve item number 10?
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner White. I have a second by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, we're done with that. Item number 18 is the next. It's a time specific, which we got behind a little bit. So at 5:35 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard, hold a public hearing to consider closing, vacating, renouncing, and disclaiming all right of interest of Suwannee County, Florida, and the public in and to a portion of Public County Road in Public County Road in Suwannee County, Florida, known as 106th Street. Mr. Meese, you want to educate us on this?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Swearing in, Mr. Morrison. He's
Swear affirm testimony to give us the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Mr. Chairman, board members, this is a request that's been made to close a portion of 106th Street, which is located on the eastern side of County Road 137. Where this road intersects with County Road 137 is just a little bit south of where I-10 crosses County Road 137. The subject property is owned, the surrounding property is owned by one individual. It totally encompasses the road to the north and the south. 106th Street does not provide anyone else's access to their property. It does not intersect with any other road that would be a collector or adjoining road to any other road network system. The road has not been, even though it's a county road, has not been maintained by the county since at least 2004. So the road basically doesn't serve the county any purpose. So the applicant has made a request that the county close and vacate all right of interest of the public to that road. So we've done proper notice. You have a resolution of approval in your packet if the board so chooses to adopt such. If you don't have any questions of me, then I will enter the file into the record.
Admitted as one.
Thank you, Mr. Meeks. Any board members have any questions for Mr. Meeks in regards to the closure of this road?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Commissioner Hale.
making sure you say no one opposed. I see there's adjoining landowners. They all been notified.
It's basically one family that owns all the surrounding land. The ownership of the road would go 50% center line, and the anticipated properties would just absorb those. There's been a survey description included with the application, and that's what's made part of the resolution for approval.
Thank you. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Hale. So we'll open the floor to public comment. Is there anyone here to speak in regards to this road closure? Public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Is there any board discussion? Or do I have a motion to adopt the closing of this road? A motion by Commissioner Mobley. I have a motion to adopt by Commissioner Mobley, second by Commissioner White. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Meeks. I assume you'll let the landowners know their road's closed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next item is constitutional officers. Any constitutional officers present wishing to speak? All right, next item, staff. Any staff or staff members? Ms. Betty, welcome.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, community, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I passed out
Kind of talking to the mic. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
I passed out some sheets up front. I want to first apologize for getting this information to you late.
Okay.
But this is just a request to do a change order for the Branford Public Library building project. Actually, 2 change orders, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. One is for the roof, one is for the pavement. The building is 27 years old, and so what I did was to ask the contractor to take a look at what it would be to replace the whole roof rather than just the new portion. And my understanding is that for public libraries, a roof's lifespan could be about 25 years. So since we have the money now, this won't take us out of budget. Since we have the money now from the state, the county commissioners dedicated $65,000 to the project. I thought that it would be a good time for us to do that now because we are committed to the library being a public library for the next 20 years. This is not a change order. This is a request to present a change order to you. The pavement, the $54,405. We discovered it. We needed to remove some trees, and then we discovered that there's a lot of root damage underneath the pavement. Some of it's under the present building, but they've tried to manage that. So we're asking that you consider me providing a request for a change order for that. Now, the bottom line in terms of what the project will cost will be $496,526. The budgeted amount for the project is $565,000. So we'll be about close to $700 left.
Miss Betty, is this, so this is the budgeted amounts is the 565, that's in your budget now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
500,000 from the state and the 65,000 that the county.
The county chipped in the 65,000. There's proceeds from the state on the 500,000, right? So the money's there, guys.
Mr.
And
Chairman.
is this the same contractor that's doing the, I guess, a
Yes.
change order / I'm assuming it's the same guy.
Yes, it is. And I made the request that they take a look at it. So,
Mr. Morrison?
Yes, sir. She's asking for permission to seek a change order, so you'd be asking that the change order be put on for next agenda. Am I stating that correctly? So you don't have to approve anything tonight.
whichever way is best in terms of, you remember our project is due to be completed in August.
Yeah, I think that for the attorneys and the legalities of it, we probably need to mix agenda
Okay.
for the approval of this, just so that he makes sure we cross Ts and dot Is, and
Okay.
that, that we adhere to the grant and the contract. I see here it says this is only a cost proposal, not a contract. So
Right.
I don't want to approve this without having that contract in hand for him to review.
Okay.
So we will, Mr. Furry or Mandy, someone here in the building, remember to get with Miss Betty and get those documents or whatnot to run through Mr. Morrison on putting it in an agenda item with an actual contract for this.
Okay, great.
That work?
That'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Betty.
Summer reading starts on June 6th. You asked me that at the last meeting, so.
Yes, ma'am.
We got a full house. Remember, summer reading is very important. We'll be doing that at all the libraries. We start June 6th. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence. Any others?
My apologies.
Yes, sir.
I didn't catch which library.
Branford Library. Oh, before you get started, Miss Carissa, Mr. Eddie Morales, will you stand up? Oh, that's your stuff. We got a new employee back here, so y'all all give Mr. Eddie. He's a new guy on the block. He's a staff assistant at the administration office. So welcome aboard, Eddie. The fun just begins. Miss Setzer,
I have some good news to share with you guys tonight.
we could use some of that.
Last week, I attended the Florida Economic Development Council's annual conference in Charlotte Harbor, Florida. During the conference, FEDC announced the recipients of the 2025 Economic Development Awards. Each year, these awards recognize outstanding achievements in economic development across the state. They honor the individuals and organizations that demonstrate leadership, project development successes, and innovation in marketing. There are 17 award categories, and the entries are judged on creativity, impact, quality, originality, and substance of each item. I'm proud to share that Suwannee County was selected as the winner in the category of Innovation in Marketing for our We Are Suwannee advertising campaign. That campaign began as a conversation between me and Mr. Norris nearly 5 years ago. His idea was to have the message behind the campaign be focused on people who are invested and committed and love Suwannee County. Instead of hiring spokespeople, we chose to feature real people from real businesses in Suwannee County, particularly those that work in our target industries. We asked them to share their own stories, what it's like to live here, work here, and grow a business here. We prioritized authentic testimonials because it's more powerful when it comes from someone who's living it. Their firsthand experiences provide the strongest endorsement of our community's strengths, offering genuine insights into doing business here. This campaign emphasizes the people, resources, and opportunities that make our county an ideal place to invest. By sharing real experiences, we created a compelling, human-centered narrative that goes beyond data and statistics to demonstrate why businesses thrive in Suwannee County. In conjunction with Madden Media and a fantastic videographer, the first video was released 4 years ago. This new phase, which we are celebrating today, now builds on that same philosophy. Now I'm going to show you the video.
There's a soul to Suwannee County. It's found in the beautiful, unfiltered landscape and in the camaraderie of the hardworking community. It's in the spirit of neighbors helping neighbors and in the heartbeat of growth and success. While success has many definitions, here it means pride and fulfillment, supported by our pro-growth, pro-business government. Suwannee County is quickly becoming home to new and expanding businesses, striving for success of their own, securing the namesake, Florida's new frontier. Located in north central Florida, Suwannee County is within 500 miles of nearly 65 million people, and just an hour's drive from Jacksonville, Tallahassee, and Gainesville. Surrounded by several interstates, major highways, railways, and airports, travel and transportation is fast and convenient. Experience the success and soul of Suwannee County, as so many businesses have.
Bender Holtz is a wood products company. Our primary focus in the manufacturing focus in the United States is dimensional lumber, and we supply people like Home Depot and Lowe's. Being close to I-10 and I-75 really helps us efficiently distribute our product to our primary customers. In addition, there are a lot of local distribution centers that help supply the state of Florida. I am Philip Clapp, and I am Suwannee County.
There's a lot of draw to this area because of our resources, because look how beautiful it is here. We have really sensitive water resources, being that we're around the Suwannee River. We have more first magnitude springs here than anywhere else on the planet. And so we have to take care of what we have. Over 5 generations, 6 with us, that this farm has evolved and expanded with each generation over time, and diversified and grown in acres with each person that the torch has been passed to. We are Ladita Farms, and we are Suwannee County.
We are a fully integrated poultry processing facility. We are serviced through 108 family farms that are within a 55-mile radius of here in Suwannee County. Our key customers here at Pilgrims is Publix and Costco. So here in Suwannee County, the workforce is really great to work with, have a strong work ethic, and also have a great sense of pride in what they do.
Over the past couple of years, we've invested $750,000 back into the community. It's important for Pilgrims to have outreach in the community because we're investing back into the future. We are Suwannee County.
We are a regulated electric utility serving 1.9 million customers in Florida across 36 counties. Suwannee was very welcoming in terms of wanting us to be here, helping us with permitting. They have a great workforce. We recruit linemen and solar technicians from Suwannee County because of the education system they have here. They're very attentive to companies like us and our needs as we're developing new projects. Suwannee is a great place to live, to do business, and then to reside and enjoy. I am Suwannee County. Parks and Recreation just plays a huge role in the health of our community, for our citizens, our visitors, just a work-life balance for employers and employees that are here. People come to visit the river, the springs, the state parks, the county parks. Tourism is economic development in Suwannee County. We are Suwannee County.
We are a privately owned assisted living communities here in North Florida. We really serve the underserved population in the rural areas. This job allows me to form relationships with these folks. I absolutely love spending time with my residents. We almost find reasons to celebrate because there's a big difference between existing and thriving. We want our community to thrive. That's what our job is.
We are Suwannee County.
Learn more about the successes and soul of Suwannee County at SuwanneeCountyEDO.com.
What if your smile could go from looking like this to this?
24 hours.
Okay, sorry about that at the end. So this was phase 2 of our We Are Suwannee County campaign. In phase 2, we created 6 45-second videos, the overview video, which you just saw, and 2 short-form videos. The campaign ran on YouTube, Google Video Ads, and LinkedIn. We also used photos from the video shoot in Google Display Ads. The results were impressive. The LinkedIn video had 24,000 views. That might not sound like a lot, but these are not random views. We were able to target site selectors and development decision makers on a platform where they are spending time actively engaging with colleagues and potential opportunities. Our paid search ads saw a click-through rate that's 19% higher than the industry standard. The Google Video Ads had over 1.8 million views, with a view rate that is almost 70% higher than the industry standard. These numbers reflect not just meaningful reach, but meaningful engagement from the audience that we were wanting to connect with. As a result of our hard work and effort and the results that followed, Suwannee County received the award for innovation in marketing for our advertising campaign.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of pretty.
Chris, you want to get a picture?
I still got a couple more things to say, so we'll let them pass it around for a second. So this was for the Innovation in Marketing for Advertising campaign. This category includes all types of advertising, digital, print, broadcast, and beyond, and it recognizes campaigns that have been running for the previous year. So this is not just a win for our office, this is a win for Suwannee County. We were honored to hear Suwannee County's name announced from the stage and to be recognized by our peers from across the state. This was not a rural conference or a rural award, it was literally statewide. But this was truly a team effort. I want to express my sincere thanks to the Board of County Commissioners. This achievement is a testament to your unwavering support. Your commitment to building a business-friendly community has been instrumental to us, and I thank you.
Thank you. When was this conference?
It was last week.
Oh, okay. I presented those videos. You shared those videos with me, and I presented them at Advent Christian Village's monthly membership meeting last Thursday that I was a guest speaker at, but you didn't tell me we'd won an award, so.
It was Thursday night that we won.
Oh, well, I did it Thursday at 2 o'clock. So, had I known, I would have said, and these videos, are won an award, but anyway. Nonetheless, y'all have any questions, comments, or I think that's a great job. I'm very proud of the work that that office does, and TDC and Economic Development. Obviously, playing on another level. So I'm proud of that. Anybody else got anything to say? Questions, comments?
Just that I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Setzer.
Appreciate it.
Do you want a picture with the board?
That's up to you guys.
Our city councilman here said he would recommend it.
Hey, Tommy, I thought you liked it.
Jamie, would you like a picture?
Let's do one.
All right.
Chrissy, you got to hold this.
I should trade cool.
I'm not getting in it. I get down. Make sure I'm not in the back.
All right, are there any other staff members wishing to speak? No other staff members. We'll move to commissioner items. Any other commissioner items? Are there any commissioner?
Chairman?
Commissioner Mobley.
I got one. I put together a community meeting for the private road that was discussed a while back. Somebody come and talked about on 134th and 39th Place. I had Miss Brenda do some research, and I had Adam do some research, and Gene come up with a couple plans. So I formed it as a community meeting on June the 5th at 6 o'clock p.m. at Welborn Community. But Adam said we need to probably advertise it public in case one of y'all wanted to come, and then y'all be able to come without anything. So,
Yeah. For it to not be a sunshine violation, we gotta.
Yeah. So you
June 5th, you said?
be June the 5th, 6 p.m. Welborn Community.
6 p.m. And that is in regards to, for those that didn't catch that, 134th, which makes a 90-degree turn, I think, and turns into 39th, right? That's the Lime Rock Road, the dirt road behind once you turn right off of 90 on 137 headed south, right before that first sharp turn, it's the dirt road that goes straight. Am I right?
That's the 39th Place, and then 134th would be the one at the Botanical Gardens off of 90.
Those road tied, those road,
tied together.
okay. So June the 5th at 6 p.m. at Welborn Community Center. Okay, are y'all going to publicly advertise that, Mr. Moore?
Going to do that.
Okay. So that way anybody from the public can attend as well as commissioners since it's been publicly advertised. You got another one?
I know Adam's working on some amendments on the policy. And I know we got the budget stuff coming up too. So if we could, I'd like to bring that to a formal workshop on that item.
Which one?
On the amendments on the policy that Adam's working on.
Okay.
Well, we're doing some, Commissioner Mobley and I have been speaking about issues that he wants with the personnel policy to talk about that. I told him best forum for that would be a workshop environment where there's a better back and forth. And so since we're already working on a macro redo of the purchasing policy, we can throw in some personnel policy while we were doing that too. So I figured since we were coming up on workshops generally for the budget, et cetera, so I had said that would be the best forum to do it.
That's all I got.
Yeah, so question, Mr. Morrison, is so that we don't have to duplicate advertising just for that, is this something that we could do a workshop, like add this in addition to one of the other workshops that we'll be doing?
Sure.
I mean, can it wait that long? You know what I mean? So we don't have to have another workshop where we don't have to advertise and do it. Can it be something that we say, hey,
Because,
Suwannee County Board of County Commissioners going to be having a budget workshop and yada, yada, all these, and it'll make the meeting longer, but it'll save us some money and have
We're
to.
doing them in July, August, so yeah, it's fine.
Are you good with that?
That's what I was
Okay.
on anyway.
Sounds good to me. Let's just kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, and do it all at one of those workshops.
Yes, sir.
Just add it to the agenda for that workshop. Anything else, Commissioner Mobley? Any other commissioners have anything?
I do, sir.
Commissioner Hale.
Yep. I've got the stakeholder workshop here for the Utilities Board.
Yes.
That's on May the 22nd. I would also like to have something added to our
Come to the mic, please, sir.
following agenda. What's going on with this thing?
Yeah, they're not very high tonight.
I'd like to maybe add to our next agenda because it'll be following. Can you hear me now? A little bit better? I don't know what's going on here. Anyhow, there's a workshop on May the 22nd on the Utilities Board. I would like to also add something to our agenda the following meeting after that for discussion by the board, if you don't mind. I just have some questions myself. I'm hoping this will clear up some of it, but if not, I want to have the opportunity to speak to all of us openly at that time.
No, I love it. Mr. Ferrer, are you taking notes on that? So can we have a general business discussion item on the utilities in the state thereof? There is it's not a utilities, I'm going to correct you a little bit. It's a joint, the Columbia County Board of County Commissioners are hosting a joint stakeholder workshop on utilities at the Florida Gateway College on Wilson, I guess, at Wilson S. Rivers Library at 281 Southeast Rivers Drive, Lake City, Florida, 32025, May 22nd. That's Thursday, I believe, at 1:30 p.m. But they sent out invitation. Obviously, they advertise to the public as well. But they got Suwannee County, City of Lake City, City of Live Oak, Town of Fort White, Town of Brantford, North Florida Water Utility Authority, Columbia County School District, Suwannee River Water Management District, Florida Gateway College, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Florida Department of Transportation. All are stakeholder presentations on utility projects and with regional impact. So there'll be lots of
discussion. Yeah, and I want us to be able to have it here and also the public as well.
No, I think it's good that you asked for that and you asked for it after this here meeting, because there'll be a lot of information that the public and ourselves will get from these other entities at that workshop Thursday.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Yes, sir. Any other commissioner items? Okay. County Attorney, Mr. Morrison, do you have anything?
Briefly, Mr. Chairman, first, I know that there will be a significant amount of time devoted to Mr. Norris's contract under general business. I passed out, or the proposed contract with Mr. Norris. If you all look on your desks before the meeting, I passed out an amended one after conversations with Vice Chairman White this morning. It deletes the provision which would give Mr. Norris a certain number of sick hours, so he'd be down to 0 starting as a new employee. So I just wanted to make that clear before the discussion got started, that and just so for the public's edification, that's the only change to the contract. So if you're looking at the one in the agenda, the only difference is that line item's not there.
Can you state that line item for the record that was deleted on the old one? Item, what's the?
I'm not looking at it. Of course, I gave away all my copies.
I can flip to it. It's item 2G. I was just trying to save from hitting that mic.
Thank you.
Item 2G has been removed, correct?
Yes, sir. And that's the only difference between the one in front of you and the one that's in the agenda packet.
Okay.
Lesson learned to put draft on everything that's in the agenda packet. Also, just briefly to follow up with one of Commissioner Hale's requests from last meeting regarding looking into impact fees. I have tried to call various entities that do impact fee studies. They've been very reticent to give me ideas as to what they'll charge, I guess figuring they don't want to lock themselves in, so I kind of understand that. So what I'm going to do is end up just doing some 119 requests to some other governmental entities which have procured those services, so I'll get those contracts that way. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed that it's not for lack of trying that I don't have it today, but that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Any of y'all have anything for Mr. Morrison?
No, we spoke of that, and I appreciate him very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Any consultants? Next item on the agenda is consultant items. Any consultants present wishing to speak? Okay. General business. Number 19, discuss with possible board action with Director of Economic Development Employment Agreement. It says Vice Chairman, Commissioner White. But Commissioner White, before you get started, I want to say something. I know that all of us have gotten emails and text messages, even though we didn't respond. We were all shared in group ones. It's been shared to me by a lot of people in the community on negativity about this contract. And the only thing that I'm going to say to that really just bothered me was the attack on Commissioner White individually. And I haven't talked to you about this, but there's 5 board members sitting up here, and all 5 of us that were here approved that contract. So to suggest that Commissioner White is driving this train is just false. All 5 of us voted for that. All 5 of us sat up here a few weeks ago and with consensus authorized Commissioner White, as he did negotiate the first contract with Mr. Norris, and we all 5 voted for that individually. So to say that Commissioner White is, maliciously running a negotiation, self-serving or whatever you want to call it, that's just frivolous. That's false. It's frivolous. We're a board. We all voted for it, and we're all 5 sitting up here tonight, and we all 5 are going to vote however we so choose tonight. So to state that Mr. White is the bad guy here, that's just insane. We allowed him, and I'm glad that you did it. You did the first one, and it was my thoughts that you do the second one instead of me as chair. You did the first one because you were chair. You're now vice chair. It was my idea to ask him to run it this time instead of me trying to reinvent the wheel and being the chairman negotiate a renegotiation with Mr. Norris. So just to me, that's how I would have done it in my business. Keep as many variables as you can the same. So that's why I suggest Commissioner White, and all 5 of us agreed to do that. So to attack Commissioner White publicly via social media, text messages, and emails, I just want to say that. I'm up here, I'm with you. I made my decision independently, and it was along with yours, so thank you for running this. I'm here. We all 5, if there's spears that we should be receiving, we should all be getting together, not just you, Commissioner White.
Thank you, Chairman. There's just not a whole lot to talk about here. I mean, Jimmy Norris is working for us. Jimmy Norris quit. He wanted to come back. We don't have an issue with that. It's pretty much the same. It is the same exact contract he had when he left. There's no pay raise. There was some sick leave put in here, 25% of his sick leave. We took it out. Everybody seemed to be against that. So it was nixed out of this contract while you had the change tonight. I've just like the chairman, I've had the emails, the Facebook posts, the whole thing, and Jimmy Norris is a good guy. He's done a good job for us. Did he make a mistake? I don't know. We'll see. You know, he quit his job to do something else, and I don't blame him for that. I don't have a problem with that. You know, if anytime anybody thinks they're trying to better themselves, same I tell my employees when they work for me, same thing. So I didn't see, there's just nothing to talk about in this contract. It's the same contract. So I think Jimmy Norris is the right guy for the job, always have, and I enjoy working with him, have worked with him a lot, and he's a hard-working guy. He puts in a lot of time doing this, and a lot of his personal time doing this, and he's just the right guy for the job. That's all I got to say about it.
I'm gonna open the floor to public comment here in a few minutes, but before we do that, are there any other commissioners have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that y'all would like to say before we open the floor to public comment?
Mr. Chairman, just one thing, and Commissioner White's right, with the exception that it is the same contract, but there are a few changes. First one is the number of years the contract is.
That's correct.
You know, just pointing out a few things, went from 5-year to 1 year. You spoke about the time there. That's really all. I just want to make sure everybody knew that part of it.
Yeah, and I'm going to add too, because I got a constituent that called me and was like, you know, accusing us of the 25%, giving him 25% sick time back. That shouldn't be done because we paid him for his sick time. That's not true. Mr. Norris did not get paid for his sick time. Mr. Norris walked away. In order to get compensated for your sick time as a county employee, you must be an employee for 10 years. Mr. Norris was not an employee for 10 years. Mr. Norris walked away with 656 hours of sick time on the table that he did not get compensated for. So in the short time that Mr. Norris was here, he accumulated 656 hours of sick time according to the policy. Now that tells me the man's work ethic. He walked away from that, as Commissioner White said, to go better himself. I don't blame him for that. So we weren't going to give him back. I guess we thought about it, but we weren't giving him back. That 25% wasn't double dipping. We weren't giving him something back that he'd already been paid for. He never got paid for that. He walked away from it. Now we've taken that back out. I think that's probably the right thing to do. It's the fair thing to do for all the employees. Set a precedent. Like, hey, you left, you're coming back. We can't give you that back. You're going to start back at zero. The policy does allow employees, if any employee were to get sick, it allows other employees to gift those employees time if they have the need and the other employee has it and wants to gift it. That's allowable. But we were never going to compensate and then give something back that he already been paid for. That is incorrect. There's rumors floating around about that as well. That's just false. Anybody else? And the contract was a 5-year contract. It's now going to a year-to-year, 1-year contract. The contract does, as it says in the agenda, the contract shall automatically renew every year. So there's automatic renewals in there, but the obligation of either party is just for 1 year by this contract. Commissioner White, or anybody else got anything to add? I just wanted to make that clear about the sick time and what Mr. Morris did walk away from.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, sir.
That's
Okay.
That's all I.
Anybody else have anything? If not, I'm going to open it up to public comment. Commissioner Perkins?
I would say that, Mr. Norris has worked very hard for this county. He has went from ground zero to the 12th floor. He has worked hard on several projects, and he has gotten a great rapport with the people all around. Throughout the state of Florida. And I support it, and I know that I've gotten calls, I've gotten emails and stuff here saying don't do this, don't do that, but I'm thinking in terms of the county and not my own self. And my thing about it is that Jim Norris has worked hard for it. I've been in his office, and every time I go in there, he's on the phone talking to somebody about business-wise. He's given a lot of time into this county. I know we got other people who could be qualified to do this job. Sure, I know no doubt about that. But like I said, Jimmy on the 12th floor, we bring somebody else in there on the bottom floor. And with all the projects and things that's happening now is Jimmy been spearheading all that stuff, and he's given them a great time in this. So I know he left, and I've told my own children, get a piece of job, and then you always go to a better job. He thought he went to a better job. He's back. So, and I see where all the things have been done here now to, and broken down some of the contract from 5-year to a 1-year contract, and taking the sick time, all that, and he's willing to come back still. So I mean, I just think the man has done a great job for this county. I know the other folks would be upset and mad about this and that, but when you weigh it out, I don't think you get anybody better than Jimmy Norris.
I would second that, Commissioner Perkins. Anybody else? I'm open the floor to public comment. All right, Mr. Jefferson, you are the only one that filled out me a card, but I'm going to start with you, and then we'll open the floor up for anybody else that'd like to comment. Welcome, Mr. Tommy Jefferson, 509 Rogers Avenue, Northwest, Live Oak. Welcome,
there you go. Thank
council member.
Now, I like a good mic. Commissioner White.
Don't come here tearing nothing up now.
Oh, this county property, not city. Amen. Hey, good evening, everybody. I feel comfortable now talking about this situation concerning Mr. Norris, rather, and I've been knowing him for quite a while. And I think I've knew the previous DED director, Reverend Alvin Jackson. And when they transitioned and changed jobs, Mr. Jackson left and went back home down south. But this county never missed a beat. Things I want to know about going on in this county and going on to our city, the growth of our city and our county, I could count on Mr. Norris and Mr. Jackson to kind of bring me up to speed if they could, if they was not up on the gag order. And so they shared those information with me. I've watched the hard work that Jimmy has done concerning this county, and watching, as Mr. Perkins said, we go from 0 to the 12th floor. And I commend all of you for your decision that you have made, because I was thinking that you had not made a decision about bringing him back, but I'm just elated on that, and you've done a marvelous job. No different from being a city councilman. Sometimes it's a tough decision you have to make, but sometimes when you get a good thing, you kind of hang on to it. And so I think a whole lot of those who would attest to what I'm saying is that Mr. Norris has done a great job in the position that he's in, worked hard, and brought a whole lot of things, or talked with a whole lot of people concerning selling Suwannee County as a place to live, a great place to live, a great place to have business, and a great place to raise your family. And all of that I've heard come out of his mouth when we've had our personal conversation. Same thing with Mr. Alvin Jackson. So, Commissioner, I commend you. And I'm just elated that Mr. Norris will be back, hopefully, under that contract, the new contract, or whatever else. Those are the only public comments I have to have. And I'm thankful and grateful to you all for doing such a marvelous job.
Thank you, Mr. Jefferson, our city council member there. To be clear, we are going to vote on his contract here shortly. So we will, at that time, know if Mr. Norris is coming back or not. Anyone else from the public present wishing to speak tonight in regards to this item on number 19? Name and address for the record, please, ma'am.
Danielle Hampton, Suwannee County Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director for the Suwannee County Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank you for allowing me to be here tonight to speak with you all. Outstanding leader, effective communicator, team player, bridge builder are just a few of the characteristics that Jimmy Norris possesses. The one that supersedes all of these is his passion for Suwannee County. As Suwannee County Economic Director, Jimmy has shown shown up and bridged the gaps between our state government and our amazing rural community. He has helped put Live Oak on the map with the connections that he has solidified with businesses and government. If given the opportunity, I'm positive he will continue to do great things for our thriving community. Yes, I'm sure there are other candidates who are qualified for the Suwannee County Economic Director position. However, there are none better suited than Jimmy Norris. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hampton. Mrs. Ulmer, name and address real quick.
Hi, I'm Julie Ulmer, 1322 Copeland Street, Live Oak, Florida. I am one of the administrators at River Oak Technical College and also president-elect of the Suwannee County Chamber of Commerce. I have had the privilege at River Oak Technical College working many times with Mr. Norris behind the scenes to bring in potential businesses to see what programs we offer to fuel the workforce needs or what programs we can develop for potential businesses to meet their needs. Mr. Norris has done an outstanding job, as has been said, not just locally, regionally, on a state and national level. My perspective goes back 20 years ago. I was serving as Suwannee County School Board Chairman when I asked that the then director of Suwannee Hamilton Technical Center, previous name of River Oak Technical College, be given a seat at the table for economic development and was met with resistance. So Mr. Norris has done an outstanding job making sure that all the players come to the table to meet the needs of Suwannee County and really has placed us at the forefront of some very important projects like being designated a Space Florida District. So the future is very bright. Mr. Norris has done an outstanding job for this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ulmer. Name and address, please, sir.
Still Moses Lepper, 14581 102nd Path, Live Oak. Well, I don't know. I've not attacked anybody. I put out. I did research and I put out the facts as I know.
I don't think anybody said your name, but you just did. But go ahead. Nobody said you attacked somebody, so I don't know where you got that from.
Earlier, when I sat down earlier, you gave it to me, and I didn't have a chance to.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
all right, I'm on the receiving end of that. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. I apologize for interrupting you.
I didn't attack Mr. White. I put out truth, did the research, and put out facts. And to follow up, y'all blew through all the consent items without any discussion, 5-0 as usual. Very disappointing. If y'all can go 5-0, please, guys, at least have a little discussion. You know, I mean, how can 90-something% of all the things that come across be 5-0, 5-0? Anyway, I'll read this to try to shorten it up. Because this says pretty much everything I got to say, and some of y'all have read it. Suwannee County's most recent Director of Economic Development quit his job about 2 months ago with short notice, less than half the time required by the contract that he broke. Now he's wanting to come back to Suwannee County. The same commissioner who negotiated his previous contract was appointed to negotiate the second and new employment contract with Jimmy Norris. Franklin White and Norris's previous contract, and this ain't attack, this is just putting facts down, gave Jimmy 13 more weeks severance, or $28,500 more than what he had earned by state standards. Increased his salary 34%, or $29,000 from his previous contract to a $114,000 salary that would be increased to at least $125,000 in 5 years, which is a $200,000 a year in total taxpayer costs with benefits. So we're paying Jimmy Norris $200,000 a year to come back. Over that, since it's 116 base, it'll be more than that. Removed the requirement for Norris to attend all job-related meetings and had a limited subjective description of the job responsibilities and only stated that he was to administer the directives and policies of the BOCC, make periodic oral reports, no written reports required, make recommendations that Jimmy thought necessary, perform duties only if y'all require him to do so, and devote the amount of time and energy which he deemed necessary without a minimal on-the-job time requirement. So basically, Jimmy got a 5-year no-fire contract with $135,000 base salary, $200,000 full, and had minimal objective job requirements or expectations. If the county fired him, we would have to pay him 20 weeks severance or $45,000, which is the maximum allowed by Florida law. Mind you, neighboring county economic development director earned less than $70,000 at that time, that signing of that new contract. Also, on an exempt salary, Jimmy Norris has charged us thousands of dollars in overtime. Exempt salaried employees are not intended to receive overtime according to Fair Labor Standards Act. To the best of my knowledge, when Norris broke his contract, he failed to return all of the county-owned confidential information. His new contract is pretty much the same as he had before, which Commissioner White said tonight and is being quoted otherwise, even though other commissioners had stated in public discussions that they wanted more parameters set and wanted an explanation of why Norris left the way he did. Notable concerns, which I hadn't heard why he left, other than he got a better offer, which I heard was 10 grand. A lot of loyalty there. Notable concerns with the new contract are the job openings was not posted to see if there are any other qualified candidates interested in the position. Several people here have spoken on that tonight. Several people agree that there's probably some other candidates out there qualified to do this job for much less money, I know for a fact. I was going to say that. Many question if the that's all right.
You're on item number 2. I'm reading your email with you.
Are you good?
Yep.
Good. You want to read it?
No. Yeah.
Actually, I made some notes.
I was just trying to help you out. You're on item number 2.
No, I'll read it. Thank you. The emphasis you put would be totally different than the one I put. The contract is automatically renewed annually with no negotiations required. Which that's concerning. I mean, okay, y'all moved it from 5 years down to a year, but it just goes straight through. You know, there's no.
Doesn't mean it has to go straight.
No, it doesn't have to, and it's at the pleasure of the board. I realize that.
So it's a year, 2-year contract.
Hey, just let him talk.
But if it's not. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, did the timer go off?
Yes, sir, it did. Are y'all?
I don't think on this you got to. I don't think on this you limited me 3 minutes.
I'm going to shut you down at 7, though.
All right, that's fine.
I think you're probably about 6.5.
No, I don't see the clock.
Yeah. Wrap it up. I'll tell you what I am going to do, though, Mr. Klepper, real quick. I'm going to your email is now public record because you emailed it to everybody. So I will have the clerk. I quit counting at 50 names on this email. So I'm going. Can I finish? Sure. I'm going to give a copy to Ms. Logan to make a copy of it public record, so we don't have to sit here and you read this thing all the way. I mean, we got it. You don't like it. It's terrible. Mr. White's awful, and you don't like nothing in this contract. I got it.
You state irrational statements. Like I never say anything positive that you said earlier. It's all negative. That ain't true. But okay, I'll finish here. Like
wrap it up. If you would, please, sir, wrap it up, please.
Of course. The severance offer remains the maximum allowed by Florida law, 20 weeks or $45,000, even though Norris should be considered a new hire, which I heard he is. So even if his prior time for the county was considered, he should only be offered approximately 8 weeks severance, which I wouldn't have an issue with that, but I do with the 20. The $116,000 annual base salary, which is 4 times the annual average salary in Suwannee County. The Director of Economic Development supervises only 1 employee. To remove the requirement for the employee to attend all related meetings, no requirement for him to return all county-owned property and confidential information when he quits again or gets fired. No minimum work hours required. No statement that there will be no overtime paid to this exempt salary position per the FLSA, and no salary cap.
Okay.
Please table this decision tonight and post this job opening publicly. And as I heard tonight, it sounds like it's already a done deal, even though you did clarify that it's got to be, it's got to be voted on. But one of y'all said already, we decided, that we want him back without the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Klepper. Welcome, Mr. McWaters. Name and address for the record.
Michael McWaters, 8651 31st Place, Live Oak. I'm here tonight to advocate for rehiring our former Economic Development Director, a decision that prioritizes expertise, continuity, and community benefit. First, our former director has a proven track record. His deep understanding of our community's economic development landscape, local businesses, stakeholders, and ongoing projects ensures seamless leadership. A new candidate would need significant time to match his insight, risking delays in critical progress. Secondly, continuity is vital. Economic development projects like business retention or grant initiatives are long-term and complex. The former director's familiarity ensures uninterrupted progress and sustained momentum. A new hire might shift priorities or lack context, leading to delays or missteps. Third, relationships drive economic development. A mentor once told me that businesses don't do business with each other, they do business with people. And our former director has built trust with businesses, developers, and regional partners, fueling collaboration and success. A new hire would need time to forge similar bonds, and any underperformance in relationship building would weaken partnerships, slowing economic progress. Fourth, rehiring minimizes risk. The director's prior success is a known factor, guaranteeing reliable performance. Hiring a new person introduces uncertainty with potential for poor performance or underperformance that can hinder economic growth. For example, a new hire unfamiliar with our community's needs might struggle to deliver results, jeopardizing key projects. Rehiring aligns us with our duty to serve the public effectively. In conclusion, rehiring a seasoned economic development director leverages expertise, ensures continuity, and avoids the risk of a new hire's potential underperformance. It prioritizes our community's proven leadership, and I respectfully urge you to support this decision, and thank you for considering this proposal, for your dedication to our community's future, and for enduring criticism to do what's right.
Thank you, Mr. McWaters. Mr. Baker, I believe you were up next. Welcome, sir.
It's all right. I'm not here to talk about salaries or benefits or anything else. But what I will tell you is where I've seen Jimmy, Mr. Norris, in action in Tallahassee, and I've seen him in action with businesses. And I would tell you that in Tallahassee, it's all about relationships. If you don't have the relationships, you don't get things done. And it's where that I don't know how Jimmy has done it, but he has been very effective in petitioning on the behalf of Suwannee County. There's a lot of grants that Suwannee County has gotten that I'm positive that we would not have gotten without his assistance and without the relationships that he has built over the years. It's, to look at Jimmy, it's where he's kind of like me. It's where he don't look too smart, but but something has worked for him. And so it's where I just want to say it's where I do appreciate what he has done for Suwannee County and the way that he is. It's all about trust, and I have to tell you, it's where he's been able to take and build that over the years.
Thank you, Mr. Baker, for your comment. Appreciate it. Ms. Allen, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman.
Name and address real quick.
Catherine Allen, County Extension County Extension Agent, FCS, and Community Resource Development, 11302 11th Street Southwest, Live Oak, Florida. So I don't know the details in terms of, what our county policy is and the legalities of it, and that's up to the county attorney, but I just want to say that my experience through community redevelopment is one of the things is how do you have civic engagement, how do you revitalize the downtown areas, how do you bring business, and so I've had interactions with him in different capacities throughout my 17, 18 years here. And I just, couple of things is, one of the things is, this is his home, and we've had people serve in different capacities in county government who did not reside and make this their home. They did not make decisions, and stand up to those decisions when they go grocery shopping. He lives here, his family's here. He makes decisions because he thinks it's the right thing for our community, and I have experienced that personally in many conversations that we've had about economic development. The other thing is, kind of to echo, is he's up to speed on the projects. When we think about hiring somebody and hit the ground running, he has been a part of these projects, and that means that as we go forward, he's going to be able to pick those up and run with those. He knows what's going on already. Last thing is in terms of the relationships. And I see that in the many meetings that I go to where people know him, know of us in Suwannee County. And I do believe that part of that is because of him and the efforts that he has made to communicate the things that make our community special. So please do consider him for this position. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Allen. I appreciate that. Is there anybody else from the public? Mr. Hendry. Welcome, sir.
I can't drive over from the big town of Tallahassee and not at least get my 3 minutes worth. Jeff Hendry, I'm Executive Director for the North Florida Economic Development Partnership, and for those in the room, that's a 15 rural county area in north central Florida, and what we do is try to recruit business and industry to come to this region, and also work with the existing businesses and try to help them expand, and frankly, those that are struggling, we try to work with them to try to help them stay above water. I can't really talk much more than what's been said today. All you needed to really see was that video. I mean, this is about everything this county has to offer, and every bit of that was contained in that video. And I can attest to you, as somebody that works, on this level, not just in Florida, not just in our region, but all over the state of Florida, that Suwannee County is certainly held up in the greatest esteem from a rural county standpoint. You don't get those awards as state. Sure, we can win those rural awards a lot. Okay, that's a statewide award. We bring a lot of hardware home from these conferences in our region, and Suwannee County is leading that charge. I don't know about y'all. The way I run my organization is I don't count hours. I don't count hours. If Jimmy Norris or anybody else is in that position is counting hours and spending time in that office, they're not doing their job. You got to be out there building relationships, which I've heard over and over again today. It's not just about building relationships locally, which he's done an unbelievable job. It's about building relationships on a state level with regard to the state agencies that invest their infrastructure funds, that invest their workforce training dollars. I'm talking about the Florida Department of Transportation, DEP, Department of Commerce in particular, and quite frankly, the Executive Office of the Governor, because that's where decisions are made about where money goes. Okay, I've lost track of the amount of infrastructure money that's come to this county over the last 6 years, certainly some prior to. And in terms of salaries, in terms of hours, in terms of all that, look at the return on investment. Okay, I'm gonna look at one project sitting out there off of Highway 90, okay, that brings in initially $60 million purchase when that facility was in disarray. And then since that time, from $60 million purchase of the Benderholtz facility now, they've invested another $150 million. So it ain't hard to do the math although I probably need a calculator to look at what the ROI on salary versus capital investment, not to mention the 200-plus jobs that are out there that are sending money back to children, their families, their workers, and reinvesting. And by the way, if you want to know the true return on investment, don't just look at the tax dollars that come into the county and to support the public services and the public infrastructure investments. Look at your daggum school district. Okay, you don't abate those taxes, your school district's benefiting from that time and time again. I read something in the newspaper, and I read your headline, and I read your article, and I said something to the effect of, growth is going to explode here no matter what. There's two facets to that. That might happen, probably not, but even if that were a true statement, wouldn't you want to control and direct and have the kind of development that you want in terms of, instead of going down to South Florida, no offense to my friends down in South Florida, and watching growth outgrow you? You got the ability to try to control the type of development, the types of jobs, the types of high-wage jobs that you want to have. You got to have somebody in that spot. The last thing I'll say, two things. One, and I know he doesn't want me to say this, just his reputation statewide, okay, Jimmy, in terms of his service, not only as my chairman, still my chairman on the North Florida Economic Development Partnership, but his service on the Florida Economic Development Council, and then also our Florida Rural Economic Development Association, his involvement in that. A lot of people really say to themselves, well, what do those organizations really do? Well, they're sitting out there at your catalyst site. That's what drives that growth, okay? The last thing I want to say is I don't know what motivates people to make decisions that they make. People that work with me, and I can only attest to what I do, is I always want them to try to better themselves and pursue opportunities that they think are really good. I do know in my heart, after conversations and prayer, quite frankly, that know what brought him back here to want to come back to work for Suwannee County, and that's his love for this county. It's that simple, okay? There are things that go on in your life, there are things that you get exposed to, but at the end of the day, you make decisions if you're really committed to something about what is in your heart. And I think that's probably the strongest motivation. I can't speak in fact to that because I haven't had necessarily that conversation with Jimmy to that point, but I know it when I speak to him. I'm looking forward, I hope at some point, maybe after tonight, I'm looking forward to getting back to Team Suwannee and having y'all show up, be there strong, be there with your team, and showing up with probably, I can't say that because I represent 15 rural counties, at least one of the leading organizations that represent our region, because it truly is a gem. So just encourage you to consider this strongly, and it's an honor for me to come here and talk to you about it, and hope you make a great decision.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. You talked on something, and I see our property appraiser here. I'm going to call him up. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Gamble, but I believe Mr. Norris and that office won an award for the sawmill revitalization, if you will. So will you, I'm not going to ask you your opinion on this topic, but will you shed some light on the dollar signs that reflected to the tax rolls, which obviously contributes to the schools, and then the jobs and all that stuff? That's kind of out of your league. But as far as the ad valorem, will you speak to that and what that brought back to the county?
I'll touch on it if you'll grant me some leeway, because I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Well, I put you on the spot, so I apologize.
Numbers just because I don't remember. But I want to say that Bender Holtz altogether adds around $80 million, something like that, to the tax roll. We're still going through it, so I don't have a final number, but they have just submitted their TPP, which is tangible personal property, for the new addition they added. That alone is going to probably add over $60 million to the tax roll. So just that one return is going to produce about $540,000 back to Suwannee County this year. On top of the other, let's just say $80 million that's already on the tax roll. So you take that, and there is no, that's just the county. So you add whatever the school board millage is to it, and that's going to the school board, and then whatever the water management millage is on top of that. So it's probably knocking on the door of another $800,000 to $900,000 going on the tax roll altogether to all the taxable entities. I mean, you were at one today, or you were. Those batteries just being added, that's probably another $60-70 million. If that's the project I'm thinking of, Carissa, and that what that project was on that, about $60 million. Now, granted, solar farms have 80% exemption on them, so you're looking at only putting 20%. But what's that? Still $12-15 million going back on the tax roll that you didn't have before. So those projects, they've come, and every year, the last couple of years, the big increases y'all have been getting have been two things: property sales and new construction. But the biggest impact that y'all probably don't even realize has been TPP. It's been businesses adding and growing. Those TPP returns the last couple of years have been pretty substantial, and it's been your bigger customers. Pilgrims have added on, Bitterholz has added on, solar panels coming on site, cell phone towers going up, just different things. It's all stemming behind economic development.
Any questions?
And I know some of those projects have been direct projects that economic development's worked on back, some of them going back to when I was on the board, because I know those solar panels and those batteries were a project that was originally submitted when I was on the board, and there was a thought that we might lose them, and I think you, Don's probably the only one that'll remember this, but there was a big solar farm that was coming in, and they went all the way around a 40-acre farm, and we voted them down because of that. Well, that was right on the time that those batteries were wanting to get, and we about lost those batteries because they said we were sending the wrong message about solar. And so just to add, I know for a fact that that was Jimmy that saved that project. So I wasn't going to speak on that part of it, but I had that in there. But I mean, it's a lot of money, and we've seen it coming in pretty steady for the last 3 or 4 years. That's where a lot of y'all's increases are coming from. Because you got to think about it like this. Y'all are bound. I don't care where the market goes. 10% cap on every property in Suwannee County to the Board of County Commissioners. So if the market goes up, you're still only going up 10%. The only place that y'all have room for growth, new construction, which would be houses or commercial. But even once it's on the roll, it's 10% cap. Or a sale of a piece of property. When it changes hands, the cap's removed. So those three factors are the only place that you're going to see substantial growth, and that's where you've seen your most growth in the last 3 or 4 years has been TPP returns and new construction. And then, of course, property changing hand, because a lot of people have been selling property.
You don't have any questions for Mr. Gamble? I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but he hit on Bitterholz, and I wanted the public to hear it from elected official there on exactly what that puts back on the rolls.
It is huge amounts of money that's coming in from that facility. And I'm not saying that to say, hey, support that or don't support that facility. It's just, it's the fact. They're paying a substantial amount in property taxes, which is personal property or tangible property.
Right.
And what blows my mind, even sitting in this office, is that their property value, they're only paying about, their value, I say only, is about $35 million. So the rest of what they're paying on is all that equipment. And that's where you see your growth. And that's most companies. Their equipment's where the money's at.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. So what I would say to that is, and board members, y'all feel free to jump in here at any time, but, you know, I've heard post a job open and there's other candidates, and there may be, but I know what I'm getting with Mr. Norris. The proof's there. The numbers don't lie. The ad valorem tax base doesn't lie. The members of the community that are business owners and have multiple hundreds of employees that work for them are here in support. I mean, so no offense to anyone that may be in this room that was interested, or no offense to anybody that's watching us on YouTube tomorrow that may have been interested in the job, but if I own the business, my first option that I'm going to go with is with one that I know that what I'm getting, and I know what I'm getting there. So, yes, sir, Commissioner Perkins. Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Setzer, welcome. You're usually timid, and you're up here twice tonight. You're drinking Red Bull.
That's a big day. What I'm going to say tonight, all the commissioners already know, so I'm just saying this for the benefit of the public and anybody who might be watching the video afterwards. In economic development, credentials matter, but so do relationships, experience, and a genuine connection to the community. Today, we're talking about someone who brings all of that and more. Mr. Norris holds two of the most respected certifications in his profession, the IOM and the MEDP, credentials that few others in this field have. They reflect not only advanced training, but a deep commitment to doing his work at the highest level. The IOM is the Institute for Organizational Management. Awarded by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce at the University of Georgia, this 4-year program delivers executive-level training in leadership and strategic planning, community and economic development, advocacy and workforce development, and much more. Completing the IOM shows that he earned a nationally respected designation and shows that he invested time into mastering the fundamentals of organizational and economic leadership. It signals that he's serious, capable, and credible. The MEDP is the Master Economic Development Practitioner. At the December 5th, 2023 board meeting, Commissioner Land announced that Mr. Norris had earned this credential. This is the gold standard for senior economic developers. This certification is earned only after completing the Advanced Economic Development Leadership Program at the University of Southern Mississippi. Economic developers must have a minimum of 5 years of experience and the IOM certification in order to be eligible for this program. The MEDP focuses on business retention and attraction, incentives and public-private partnerships, talent and workforce strategy, entrepreneurship and innovation, and data-driven economic strategies, and more. These are all things that people have to know in order to be successful in economic development. This designation is nationally recognized as a mark of senior-level leadership and advanced strategic thinking. The MEDP is more than just a credential. It's a mark of excellence. It shows that Mr. Norris has gone beyond the basics, and he has the tools to lead real-world, high-impact economic initiatives. But certifications alone don't tell the full story. He also brings over 6 years of hands-on experience in economic development and a proven track record of success. He already knows all of our project owners, employees at all of the state agencies that we work with, the key people in Tallahassee, and most importantly, he has strong relationships with all of them. That kind of network takes years to build, and it pays off in faster results and smoother collaboration. Mr. Norris is also deeply rooted in this community, as has already been stated before. His home is here. He's raised his family here. He doesn't just want Suwannee County to grow arbitrarily. He cares how it grows. That means growth with purpose, with integrity, and with the residents in mind. His work ethic also speaks for itself. This is someone who comes into the office at 6:45 every morning. The commissioners can verify this, as several of them regularly call him while they drive to their other jobs or while they take their children to school. He rarely takes a lunch break. He doesn't stop at 5 o'clock on Friday. And in 6 years, he only took one vacation. He works an average of 50 hours a week, and he does it all with a smile because he loves Suwannee County. He shows up every day with the same level of commitment and drive because he believes in the work and he wants what's best for our Suwannee County residents. The bottom line is that Mr. Norris has been professionally trained. He's earned the credentials. He has over 6 years of full-time experience, numerous relationships, and a proven record of success. We already have the right person for the job. He's proven it again and again. Now we just need to put him back in place to finish what he started. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Setzer. Very well said.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Morrison?
Just one matter for the contract. You'll note at the top it was blank as to the start date. I've been able to clarify with Mr. Norris as to when his start date would be, and the effective date of the contract would be a start date of Friday, May 23rd. So that would be the start date on the contract.
Okay. Fair enough. Y'all understand that, board members?
Yes.
Okay. So that would just be added to, the start date would be May 23rd? Yeah. Yes, sir. Any other questions, comments? Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? I'm going to close public comment. Oh, we got one more. Last but not least. Name and address, please, ma'am.
14968. 14968 Southeast Vaughn Lane, Scotts Ferry, Florida. My name is Diane Scholes. I work for the NFEDP, which is within FSU. And I've had experience in Suwannee County since 1999 when I went to work in the governor's office. Suwannee County has absolutely grown in so many ways. I worked with Dennis Kaysen when we originally were trying to recruit Klausner. There were a lot of tough times. And when they decided to file bankruptcy, it was a wonderful opportunity, believe it or not, for Suwannee County. Because at that point, Jimmy, for the most part, and I was there helping him, but we were able to get a company that had so much more integrity and the ability to grow. The other thing I want to say is, there's been a lot of comments at conferences, at board meetings in terms of NFEDP. Other counties say, well, how's Suwannee County doing all this? And I credit a lot of it to Jimmy and Carissa, but also to the county commissioners, because y'all are the few, absolutely the only up until this year. We did have one other county that had all their commissioners there. But y'all show up and you support the projects that he brings. You work with him, and he really tries hard to work with y'all as well and keep you informed. That is a true Suwannee team. And I can't tell you how much it's been a pleasure for me to get to work with all y'all. So, of course, you know how I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schultz. Logan, which one's there? You go. One of them's humming.
She got it. Maybe. This one?
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Yes, sir. Welcome, sir. Name and address when you get here, please, sir.
My name's Rusty DePratter, 11214 129th Road. First, I'd like to say, commend you guys for serving. It's a tough job. You've got to have thick skin, and we appreciate it. Second, I had 100 things to say, and now I have none. First time I've stood up here in a long time. Recruiting, economic development, I call it directors. That is not easy. You could be a year trying to recruit you a guy, and 90% of that will happen from someone out of town that won't know nothing about Suwannee County. They've got to learn the county, how it works. I lived it, so I'm just telling you, that's how it is. You're better off. Everybody in this room has had a second chance in their life to do something they love. Have you not? We've all had it. Jimmy Norris needs a second chance. And there's no reason not to give it to him. He's got the experience. He's already ready to hit the ground running. So, you know, to me, and all the people I spoke to in town, it's a no-brainer. You put him back to work. I'm just a regular citizen and nobody. But I'd like to tell you that I really believe in him, and I know he'll do the job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prater.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're going to move along. Any board members got any questions, comments, concerns in regards to this contract?
I make a motion to approve, Chairman.
I appreciate that motion. Motion by Commissioner White to approve this contract. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I got us, Mobley. I had two of y'all at the same time. I'll go with Mobley.
Yes.
I'm on for. So we have a motion and a second. I don't normally do that. I think I've only done it one other time, but I'm going to do a roll call so the record's clear. Roll call vote. I'll start on my right over here. I know where White and Mobley are at.
Yes.
Not to put you on the hot spot, Commissioner Hale, but Commissioner Hale.
Yes.
I have a yes by Commissioner Hale. Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Yes. And I myself, the chair's a yes. Mr. Norris, welcome back to work. We expect to see you on 23rd.
Mr. Chairman, you still need the votes from the two motioned and seconded.
The motion was by Commissioner White, the second was by Commissioner Mobley, and the motion passed 5-0 to approve Mr. Norris's
They
contract.
didn't vote.
What?
They motioned and seconded, but they didn't vote.
Oh, well, I mean, if he motioned for it, he's a yes. If he motioned, I would think he'd be a yes.
Yeah, we can assume.
Commissioner Mobley's a yes as well. So White and Mobley are also yeses.
That's why he
My bad.
big bucks.
Well, I said I'd only done that twice, but I don't know why it just hit me. Next item on the agenda is item number 20, additional agenda items. I'm not aware of any. No additional agenda items. Item number 21, administrator's comments and information. You're not the administrator, but you'll do. Mr. Furr.
Could have been worse. Thank you. Just two things. Just for clarification on the budget workshop, or the workshop about the purchasing policy.
Just if you could tag on to it, that we'll also discuss personnel policy issues.
Okay, so we're doing a revision right now. We're looking at the purchasing policy. The main reason for that was to amend to allow Bonfire to allow the online purchasing system process. So to wait until August.
Purchasing is separate than personnel policy, so we can do one.
Okay.
We don't have to put off.
Okay. So what we need to do is do something pretty quick on June for the Bonfire, for the online part, and
Yes.
we need to come back and add. We were trying to do everything at one time.
But it's my understanding we can do the purchasing policy with just an agenda item because all we're doing is adding Bonfire,
Correct.
which is the new portal
There's
vendor
going to be some
system.
other tweaks that we'd like to recommend, I think, but we can do that after the fact.
Yeah, the purchasing policy is a whole ground up rewrite, but we'll show that.
Okay. We'll bring you the purchasing policy for Bonfire in June, and then we'll do the workshop later on, as you stated. I just wanted to clarify that for me and staff. The second thing was, and I'm going to ask Mr. White to help me, but we've been looking for a new drag line. As we know, the one down in Brantford, is in need of repair, and they're few and far between. I guess my ask is permission for staff to be able to purchase that once we find it. Like, the market is not out there, and when it comes, it's gone immediately. So to be able to find one, bring it back to you to the next agenda, to the next board meeting, is going to be gone again out there. And Mr. White maybe can help me out on, we had one in Jacksonville, and then it went under contract before we could bring it to you. So to maybe bypass that purchasing policy when we find one.
Well, I don't think we need we just need to be able to put a deposit on one so we can tie it up.
Okay.
That's what happened here. So we had one located in Jacksonville. In case for a lot of the public don't know, it's a big piece of machinery. It takes a lot of trucks to move it. It costs a lot of money to tear it apart, move it, put it back together. So that one being in Jacksonville was a really good price machine to start with, and it was close. And so I had arranged to go look at it with some of the county staff the following week, and before I could even turn around, it was gone. So I think what Mr. Fury's asking for is permission to put a deposit on it until it can be looked at, and then bring it before the board to vote on.
Tie it up.
Yeah, so I'm good with that. The only thing that I would say, just for crossing T's and dotting I's, is if we can, I don't know what that deposit looks like. I think administrator has up to 35.
It will need a cap on authority.
Yep. So I would say that if the deposit, that you need a deposit more than 35, I would ask Mr. Morrison at what amount can the chair and the vice chair.
75, I believe.
I think it is.
Yeah. Or if there's motion by the board to, you guys can modify it yourselves right now. So
I'm good with with the vice chair doing it and putting it down there.
35 will probably get it.
Okay.
So the county administrator has that authority.
Mr. Chairman, and I'm certain, out of an abundance of caution, I'd rather give them 75. You guys have the 75,000 just in case it's 40 and we don't tie it up. So rather have it, not need it, than need it and not have it in terms of
So
authority.
as long as the chair and the vice chair, is that what the policy reads? Because rarely do I get the call.
I would
What's
think
the
that,
limit?
I think probably the cleanest thing to do is we could just have board action authorizing deposit of up to 75,000.
Can we just make it the vice chair?
That'll be
With the
fine.
vice chair's approval, because he's more familiar with drag lines than the chair.
That's fine.
Okay. You good with that? I'm not in the drag line business or the dirt business.
I ain't either, but I am now.
Can we have a stipulation that we don't want to lose that money? Now that we put it at the money, can we get that money?
Yeah, I would say contingent upon, I would say that they have the authority to secure a machine up to $75,000 with a deposit contingent on the county attorney approval of the deposit, or whatever the deposit agreement is.
And it would need to be a refundable deposit.
Yeah, but I want to make sure the county attorney has at least looked at whatever paperwork the dealer or the individual or the seller says, hey, we need you to sign this. Make sure Mr. Morrison blesses that before we enter that agreement.
Absolutely.
Mr. Morrison, you want to state that motion?
So,
'Cause I'm not.
Motion for approval to authorize the vice chairman to execute a non-refundable deposit up to $75,000.
A refundable.
A refundable deposit.
Whoa.
Sorry, I'm in real estate.
Maybe I need to do it.
A refundable deposit. What's the proper name of the equipment?
Drag line.
Of a drag line, subject to county attorney review upon execution.
Okay. Do I have any questions for Mr. Morrison or a motion? Motion by Commissioner Hale to approve that.
Yep.
Have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. So, Commissioner White, you have up to $75,000. Just get with county attorney and police, sir, and make sure that he approves of any documentation that the seller may require to be signed. Thank you, Commissioner White. Mr. Furry.
That was all I had, Chairman.
Okay. Last item on the agenda is item number 22, board members' inquiries, requests, and comments. In closing, where did I end up? Where did I start last meeting?
I think it might be it.
His turn?
Hale time, yeah.
Commissioner Hale, we'll start with you.
I'll start with, I want to say thank you to Shannon, Holland, Jason, obviously, Mr. Greg, Mandy. I think that's all that was on the call with me the other day. And I won't get into the specifics of it, but it's a program we're looking at. And once we get more information, I'd love to bring it back to you guys. I also wish the attorney would have been on that phone call, but Jason, we need to set that up and gather more information, because I think that would be something that this board would be interested in. But I just want to say thank you to everyone that was on the call. Number two, Ricky mentioned about the battery, and there's a significance to that where we were at today, too. And I want you to mention what you read on that thing with the names presenting, but these are non-lithium batteries. These batteries are safe for the environment. I mean, that's been a big thing, and I wanted the public to know that, because I've had questions about it. These are sodium-based batteries made out of sodium and sulfur, they said. Yeah, that's what the gentleman told me. And number three, I want to say,
Mr. Chairman, bring it up.
I've had a crazy week, and this is how crazy it is. Our house flooded. We're living in a camper. I'm running back and forth to town trying to gather equipment and stuff, and I drive into town, I come back by, and there's 2 bags of trash on the side of the road. And I said, well, that wasn't there when I went to town. So I picked it up. I drove a little further down the road and I found 2 more bags. I said, who in the world is throwing this daggum trash out? Our contract. And then I go on up the road and I see it's the people cleaning up the roadways, getting ready to mow everything. I done picked up 5 or 6 bags of trash. Well, I stopped and dropped it back off to them. No, I didn't. But anyhow, I just want to say they're doing a great job, and I think that was a good call by the board to do that. So thank you, guys. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner White.
Welcome back, Mr. Norris. Glad to have you back. And a lot of you don't know this, but when I got elected to the board, first stop was, of course, Jimmy's office, and I was not for economic development. And I think he wanted to throw me out of his office. But I told him I didn't want no more people moving here, and I didn't want this, and I didn't want that, and he looked at me like I had 4 eyes. But anyhow, he took me to a conference with him, and I started getting educated on economic development, and I spent a lot of time with Jimmy and going and doing that kind of thing, and really learned what it's all about. And it's just good to have somebody like Jimmy here. I mean, I know people saying that you need somebody else or you can get somebody else cheaper. Well, I've been there with him, and I've done a lot of stuff with him, and I'm just telling you, got the best bang for the buck. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Commissioner White. Commissioner Perkins.
Just thank everybody for coming. Thank you, Jimmy, for being back. I'm through.
Perfect. Commissioner Mobley.
Welcome back, Mr. Jimmy. And I appreciate everybody for coming. Good to see everybody. And don't forget about the little meeting on June the 5th if somebody wants to come.
June the 5th, 6 p.m. at Welborn Community Center in regards to 134th and 39th place. I guess it's my turn. I'll keep it short. We've been here long enough. My little boy's playing baseball right now, so I'm going to try to get to that game before it's over with. They started at 7. Nonetheless, Mr. Norris, I'm not going to pat you on the back. I've done that enough. But I can tell you I'm glad to have you back on my team. Don't leave again, or I might burn your house down.
Don't say it on the recording.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. My wife's a judge. The last thing I'm going to do is commit a felony. Anyway, trying to keep it a little lighthearted, guys. It got a little tough in here tonight. Just a little lighthearted joke. But welcome back, Mr. Norris. Happy to have you. That's all I really got, unless anybody's got anything else.
I do, and I'm sorry for your baseball game. My apologies. Staff reminded me, the same situation on the drag line. We have a similar situation for a transport truck, which is basically the semi-half of a truck to haul our low boys around and haul our equipment around. I think we lost one. It's about $60,000 truck. Is that right, Brenda? So anyway, similar situation. We're going to need to put a deposit down when we find one. We looked at 2 or 3, and they were gone. So just ask the same approval to do that on a transport truck.
That should be within your authority.
That should be within my authority, but just wanted to mention that because I failed to earlier. But the drag line is one, and then a transport truck is something else that we need.
Yeah, if it's within your authority, I would think if it's a $60,000, $70,000 truck, then a $25,000 or $25,000 deposit should hold it.
Okay.
I would think. But once you execute that, if you find one and you do put a deposit down, again, make sure that before you sign any agreement that binds us, the county attorney has reviewed it, and then you can bring it back to the board for a agenda item for completion of the purchase.
All right.
That makes sense?
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, one more
Commissioner Hale?
thing. Y'all talking about that reminded me of something, and I don't know the details or specifics, but I did get a call from our transit authority administrator. They have a few vehicles that they have no use for anymore, but they were purchased by block grants and different things through DOT, and the way I understand it, they want to offer that to other county or state agencies before it goes out for sale. So if any agency has a need for that, I'd say reach out to them. And again, I don't have all the details. I just got that information. So
yeah, Mr. Fury, you might want to check into that to see if there's any of the solid waste or any of our public works folks need. If you got any. If you have trucks that we're using already that are inferior to some of these that are selling, maybe you might need to look at picking up some of those if they're superior to what we already got.
Yep.
And I appreciate them offering that to other agencies before going public. I think that's allowable. Anything else? All I need is a motion to adjourn. I'm going to go with Commissioner Perkins with a motion to adjourn and Commissioner White with a second. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.